Hi everyone, welcome back to Front Decoder. Today we want to dive in one of the crucial concepts in Angular application, that is handling error. As you know, in the world of data stream, just a tiny bump can derail the entire application. Let's figure out how can handle it precisely. As you know, data stream is the core concept in the reactive programming and Angular applications. Observables are the shining example of streams. They flow over the time in the application before we subscribe to them. We can figure out that a stream has two final status: completion status, where the stream has ended without errors; error status, where the stream has ended with an error and will not emit any values. And just one of them occur, not both. Subscribe method gets the observer object as an argument that has three properties: next, error, and completion. Now let's start the code. As you can see, I have a service, a main service, an external API. Now in the component, first I define an interface. Great. Now in the component, I define a signal, to-do list, and I assign it to a to-do list of arrays interface. I inject my service. In ng-on init, I call a method, and inside a method, I just call an API from a service. Now in observer object, that's its subscribe argument, I have next, error, and complete method. Fantastic. Now I assign to-do list to the API that I get from a server, and I use take for unsubscriptions. Now in my template, I just use a regular bootstrap for making a card to display to-dos. Here I use Bootstrap version 5.3 and Font Awesome version 4.7 to have nice and shiny template. But first here, I just bind item.completed to a p tag. But after that, I change my mind and I use Font Awesome icon to display proper icon based on completed property that's Boolean. And I use ng class for conditional rendering of the class of icon. Fantastic. Now, if we look at the browser, it works well. Now, if you look at here, I have error, next, and complete for subscribe. But what if in our service, I change the API? If I change the API, I can see the error log. Yes, here in the app. We always code about happy scenario that there is no error in the system. But what if when we face into the error? How could we handle it in RxJS? The answer is catch error. You have a toy train made of many cars connected together. Now sometimes one car breaks. When that happens, the whole train stops. No more moving, no more fun. But here comes catch error. It's like a superhero repair car. When something breaks, catch error jumps in, fixes it, or gives you a new toy so the train can keep moving instead of stopping. Catch error is a method that gets an error as an argument, and it's from RxJS. In terms of error handling, we have three strategies: replace, rethrow, and retry. that I explain to you one by one. Replace strategy is the most user-friendly for UI, and when error happens, just return perfectly healthy observable that here is of operator from RxJS which make observable. Now as you can see, I write console.log here for debugging the error. Now as I told you earlier, inside the of that makes observable, I just put the object with a property of title. Fantastic. Now in our UI, see, you can see the message of title here. Now if we look at the console, we have two logs. First one is inside the catch error, and the other one is for complete method inside the subscribe. Why? Because as I told you earlier, stream has two final status, error or completion. And here we replace error with new observable. So just see completion log, not error log inside error method in the subscribe. In the rethrough strategy, or I like to call it flare gun, we use through error method from the RxJS. It means we are not fixing the problem ourselves. You just firing up the flare into the air to others know about it. The rethrough strategy, rethrowing the error to the subscribers. Now, when you look at the browser, you can see nothing in the browser. And in the console, you can see 404 error. Why? Because as I told you earlier, rethrowing a strategy just send the error inside the subscriber. And if you look at the code, we have one console log of error inside the catch error and another one inside an error method in subscriber. Now I want to show you how could we use rethrow strategy to display an error message in a template. First, we define a signal that is Boolean, has error, and then I define another signal that is a string, error message. Now, as I told you before, in the error method in subscriber, I just set has error to true, and I set error.message inside set method in signal. Now in the template I use @if, a new syntax of ngIf. Now I write @if and @else. So if has error is false, just display cards, and if has play is true, just display an alert with class of alert-danger and bind error message into that. Now you can see a quick demo from error status that I displayed in the UI. The retry strategy is so simple. Just use a retry method from RxJS and we pass a number that it illustrates the number of API call if the API fails. Now, if you look at the console, we have 3 calls. Alright, quick recap. Now you know RxJS error handling from scratch. We talked about the replace, rethrow, and retry strategies. So tell me, which one do you use the most and why? Drop it down in the comments. And hey, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. More awesome Angular and RxJS content coming your way on Front Decoder.